Have you ever wondered why Isaac is called Abraham's only son in Genesis 22? Now, you may be thinking, of course, wait a minute. Abraham had other sons. Primarily, of course, we think of first Ishmael, and his birth is recorded in Genesis chapter 16. But I also want to address, of course, the main text, and then I will proceed with the other kids as well, and then explain why he is called the only son. But we can see that the primary text is Genesis chapter 22, verse 1 and 2, and it says, "After these things God tested Abraham and said to him, 'Abraham, here I am,' he answered. 'Take your son,' he said, 'your only son Isaac, whom you love, go to the land of Moriah, and offer him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains I will tell you about.'" Now, if you look at the text, if you continue reading the narrative, the word "only" is repeated 3 times. And Dr. James Swanson, in his Dictionary of Biblical Languages with Semantic, his Hebrew edition, defines Yahid, the Hebrew word translated "only," as the only unique child, that is, pertaining to the child very special in the eyes of a parent, and in that sense, very unique. So this has the idea, of course, as him being unique. But why is that? It's primarily because, of course, he is the child of promise, and he was born as of the word of the Lord. But I want to show you that Abraham also had other children as well. We can see in Genesis chapter 25, verse 1 and 2, it said Abraham had taken another wife whose name was Keturah, and she bore him Zimram, Johansten, Midian, Ishbak, and Shua. Now, as I said, of course, why is Isaac considered to be the only child? It's not because the Bible is trying to skirt the issue and say that Abraham only had one son. No, that's not the case at all. It's saying that he's the only child in the sense of he's unique because he was born under special circumstances. He was born, of course, by the word of the Lord. And we can see that to be the case if you look in Genesis chapter 21, verse 1 through 3. It says, "The Lord came to Sarah as he had said, and the Lord did for Sarah what he had promised. Sarah became pregnant and bore a son to Abraham in his old age at the appointed time God had told him. Abraham named his son who was born to him, the one Sarah bore to him, Isaac." So that's why, to reiterate once again, that's why Isaac is called the only son, because he's the one who's born through special circumstances, through a promise that the Lord made. All the other children are born by way of natural means, by the way of natural processes, whereas Isaac is born, yes, through natural processes, but through a promise that the Lord made to Abraham, and he fulfilled the promise.